going, everybody? This is Take Control Radio, powered by ForgeRx, your one-stop shop podcast for fitness, nutrition, and wellness information. My name is Pohl, and I'm here with Dr. Joe.
Here, Dr. Joe, health and wellness coach, and today's topic is fitness, functional fitness. I know we've been talking a lot about diets and moderation and food, and we're going to change the topic around a little bit because ForgeRx is fitness, nutrition, and wellness. So I'm going to be kind of asking some of the questions here because I'm the one that's coming to the table wanting to know more about exercise, what I should do, and addressing my fitness. So this morning I was thinking, well, let's pretend I was in a time capsule for the last 30 years. Now I'm 59. When I grew up, I ran cross country, played soccer, baseball, and I like to run, and I did lift a few weights, but my passion really is cardio and running. And let's say, I didn't know what has changed over the past, 20, 30 years, and I now woke up and realized what is CrossFit and what is functional fitness and what's all this weightlifting stuff. So I was just wondering if you could kind of touch on what has changed in the fitness world since back when we mostly did running, cardio, treadmills, and then there were guys that went to gyms and pumped iron.
All right. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, and obviously this is one of my specialties, and fitness is a big passion for me. And the first kind of things you said were sports, cardio, and running. And just to kind of address that topic real quick, just in the sports world, a lot of people think, especially we've trained some athletes here, and moms and dads come in, and they're scared to, or just in general, people are scared to take away from their kids' practice time, and they don't understand necessarily the importance of strength training and the importance of getting stronger. And it's not necessarily just in general getting stronger, it's also the importance of strength training is to help keep your son or daughter healthy on the field. So there needs to be a time where you're not always playing sports. There needs to be a time where potentially you have an off season, or during the season a couple days a week where you are lifting weights. And obviously there's a purpose to it. There's strategic reasons to the time of year. But strength training just isn't getting bigger and stronger. It's also being able to stay on the field. So when your kid pulls his hamstring a lot, well, maybe they need to work on some, glute activation type stuff, single leg work, core training, and it's going to help them stay on the field and also make them a better athlete. Me being a baseball player, lifting weights in high school helped me hit the ball farther. And it also can help your running. So when you think about running, a lot of times people come to us and they have potentially poor mechanics, or they talk about their knees, their hips, and their pelvis can start tipping in the wrong direction, or I tell people, a lot of stuff that you do with running is just towards the front. So think about your shoulders starting around, your hips starts tilting forward. You're not using a lot of your backside muscles. So, working on building your upper back, your lower back, your hamstrings, your glutes, that kind of thing is going to help, one, keep you on the track or be able to run your marathons and keep you healthy and make you a better athlete. You're just going to be stronger. I like to tell people your glutes, or your butt, your booty, is your powerhouse. It's a big muscle group, and it's very important. People neglect that.
Well, let me interject here. You mentioned kids and family time, and it seems like football teams, especially high school football teams, always had a weightlifting room. So, and that's not new. I mean, I think they were lifting weights 30, 40 years ago, and it looks like this whole weightlifting thing has now become more mainstream for everybody else. And I remember a few years ago you went up to Raleigh, North Carolina, and took a weekend course on Olympic lifting, and I was wondering, what's all that about?
Yeah. Well, really, what I like to tell people is, you obviously you hear about fads, things become more popular, but if you really look at it, they're doing a lot of the same stuff. They just put their own twist on it and made it fun, different advertising, marketing. If you look at it, the bare roots of the training, it's the same basics we've been doing 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Same thing with CrossFit. What I like to tell people, CrossFit, in my opinion, now is a brand. It's not necessarily a way of training. If you think about it, there's always been weightlifting, there's always been powerlifting, some form of strength training, cardio, high intensity training, gymnastics. They've just been able to combine it into a different way of training and put a high intensity spin on it. Now, obviously, they have their methodologies and stuff like that, and Greg Glassman's been an innovator, and it's very cool. And the weightlifting aspect, so I tell people the difference between weightlifting is the snatch and clean and jerk, which is an Olympic sport, and there's powerlifting, which is bench, squat, and deadlift. And basically the two are similar in that they take the totals at the end, and the winner, whoever lifted the most weight, is the winner. But weightlifting, the snatch and clean and jerk, has gotten very popular in the last couple of years because of CrossFit. So that's what's been great about CrossFit, the community aspect of it. And weightlifting was a very old school sport, not a lot of social media around it, and now it's gotten very popular again, and everybody wants to do it because of CrossFit and people like big Russian weightlifter Dmitry Klokov, who does crazy things with 400 or 500 pounds, and that's who I went to go see in Raleigh, North Carolina, and watch him do that. And it's just something different, and for me, talking about my training, it was very bodybuilding-esque growing up, and being able to incorporate new things and try new stuff and feeling athletic again is why I got into it.
So is the functional fitness the integration of some of the lifting into your workout, so it's not just cardio, or is it this CrossFit theme where we're going to do your workout and make you stronger, being able to do some of the things you normally do in your life? If you have to carry things in your job, you carry them correctly. That's functional fitness. Is it that, or is it this balance between cardio and lifting?
I mean, it's, CrossFit didn't come up with functional fitness. There's just a whole bunch of different methodologies that you can kind of pull from that is functional fitness. What I like to tell people, a couple different things. Functional fitness, if you think about it, a lot of us, we sit all day, and we're in a chair, we're at a computer, at our job, 9 to 5. So if we exercise, why would we come into the gym and sit more on benches and machines and that kind of thing? We want to get ourselves moving. We want to incorporate movements that we would do on an everyday basis. Functional fitness is, we need to be able to pick things off the floor properly. So a lot of people, we use our lower back. So we teach people deadlifts, how to use their hamstrings and glutes and to hinge at their hips appropriately. So that's functional fitness, being able to have the core and upper body strength to pull some green beans out of the cupboard, that kind of thing. So functional fitness, to me, it could mean everything from being good at a little bit of everything: cardio, training, your aerobic capacity, mobility, flexibility, and then also being able to, what you do inside the gym, it allows you to prepare yourself outside the gym, whether it's your everyday job, being able to grab the groceries out of the grocery store, being able to mess around with your kids, living a long active life. Functional fitness to me that's what I think of functional fitness.
Is lifting weights good for women? It's kind of an image that's more with guys, and it's kind of new seeing women lift really heavy things. Is that okay? Is that good for women?
Well, lots of things. I love having this conversation with women, and kind of they're very scared to lift weights, and they're very big on 10 to 15 pounds, high reps. What I like to tell women is, one, you don't have the testosterone that I have, so you're not just going to pick up a weight and grow muscle as easy as it is for me. And then a lot of times what I like to tell women is, if you look at the magazines and the CrossFit women athletes, this is their life. They eat, sleep, and breathe. They get paid to do this for a living. They train multiple times a day. And also they're genetically gifted to build muscle. They're just looking to come in and work out a couple days a week, do a full body exercise, and move on. They're going to build muscle, but in a toned, sleek look that they're looking for. And you have to stress the muscle and get stronger to be able to do that, to change your body. And you're not gonna go from where you're at to this big and bulky chick that you see on a magazine. And in your world, you always tell people, since you're OBGYN, delivering babies is an athletic event, so you need to be strong. You need to be strong in your core, your legs, your hips, and I guess probably having the aerobic capacity to be able to deliver a baby, because it can take many hours.
Delivering a baby is an athletic event, and the more flexible you are, the better you can squat, the stronger you can valsalva and push. the better you're going to deliver that baby.
Yeah.
But on that same note of women's health, I love the lifting aspect in preventing osteoporosis. They say that with the aging baby boomer population, of which we have about 75 million of them, and half of them are women, to prevent osteoporosis, they need to do weight-bearing exercises. That's pounding the pavement or lifting weights. It's not swimming or riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it doesn't have to be. I tell people it doesn't have to be hardcore. It doesn't have to be grunting and throwing chalk around. It can be anything from just being able to doing a couple sets of getting up and out of your chair. That's a squat. Be able to do push-ups on your counter, to maybe having a personal trainer. And I kind of like to think about the osteoporosis thing. My grandmother, so my mom's side, as she got older, you could see herself, her upper back starting to round. She had hip issues, back problems, and if she just did a little bit of training, exercise, that would have really prevented a lot of those things. And women in general, when you think about hip replacements, that kind of thing, obviously that could also be a weight issue, being overweight, but training in general for women is really important for lots of reasons, for their osteoporosis and also confidence. Being able to, I tell women all the time, not needing a man. Right. You don't need a man to move the furniture. You don't need a man to carry the groceries. Like, you can do this on your own, if you lift weights and you're stronger.
Yeah, and osteoporosis isn't just a condition for women. Men can get it as well.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, your grandfather, who's 94 years old. He used to be about 6 foot, and I'm about 5'10", and he's about an inch shorter than I am. Mm-hmm. So his frame has shrunk. I'm sure he has some osteoporosis. Luckily, he hasn't had any fractures, but the wisdom there is that men should be lifting as well,
yeah.
And especially if they have a family history of osteoporosis in men.
Well, let's be honest, some of that stuff is going to happen. You're going to shrink. He's 95?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, his functional fitness his entire life was farming.
Correct.
So he did a lot of core strength, a lot of the stuff that we do in classes, farmers carry, so you had to pull things, push things, pick things up.
Yeah, this guy grew up on a farm. I would never want to mess with my dad. He was strong. Even though he didn't look real strong.
Right. We would call
very strong.
Farm strong.
And he practiced a lot of kind of yoga stuff. I would catch him in the morning and he'd be doing a handstand and be up there for minutes. And I'm thinking, how'd you do that, dude?
Just gained a lot of respect for we call him Teti.
So now you get a difficult client. The client walks in and says, I've been a runner my whole life. I heard that this lifting stuff is important, but is that really going to be for me? And how are you going to incorporate that in my life? How am I going to get excited about this functional fitness and lifting?
Education, explaining to them the importance of it, and having an evaluation and a consultation, and sitting them down and asking what their goals are. Maybe they have a goal for marathon time, or they talk to you and they have injuries, and you put them through an assessment. And you can see that, you can explain to them, well, you're having this issue. Maybe this one leg is different than the other. Your core strength isn't where it needs to be. You struggle balancing on one leg. If we take your shoes off, you have lost your arch in the bottom of your foot. And working on all that stuff, they talk about having back pain, knee pain, and you educate them, well, what if I can do things that can, whether it's flexibility in your adductors, building your glute medius and minimus to help open up those hips, building your posterior chain, working on your footwork can all help you become a better runner and stay on the course. And hopefully that they understand that, and it's not gonna click for everybody, but those one or two people that it does and they understand the value of it. I've had lots of clients who are runners where we've built up their nutrition and their training, and they've hit massive PRs in 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So
another question: can you exercise yourself into health and wellness if you disregard everything else? And I think the obvious answer is probably no. But I'm glad we're talking about fitness. But I think the point in my question here, or my statement, is to again kind of bring the discussion back to the big picture. And that one misconception I see when people come to the gym, join a gym, I think they can just undo a lot of bad habits, bad lifestyle habits, by just coming to the gym and spending an hour on the treadmill and lifting some weights, and then not eating properly. So probably I've heard this 80-20 rule. 80% of your wellness is nutrition, and 20% of it is exercise and fitness.
Well, it plays a huge part. Obviously, there's that small 1% of people that can get away with it. They're just genetic freaks, but the 99% of us cannot do that. And what I like to do is kind of just let people try it, see if they can get away with it. They'll find out that they can't. But it's also good for people to start small. So, okay, well, let's start training. Let's do a couple days a week, and then let's start talking about our nutrition. But you can definitely not have one without the other. Obviously, you're going to build muscle, your body's going to start changing, but there's going to come a point where you will stall, and then we're going to need to start talking about other aspects of nutrition and wellness, what you put in your body, the macros, the macronutrients, and the micronutrients, and then also reducing stress, getting enough sleep. They all play a massive role, whether you're just a general population person trying to stay away from the hospital, or you're someone who wants to perform at a high level, whether you're a CrossFit athlete, and I have those clients, or you're a football player, whatever it is, being able to sustain a football game, training session, nutrition is huge. And the core of it is, obviously the macronutrients and putting enough food in your body, but the micronutrients, so fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals, those phytonutrients help reduce inflammation, help you recover faster, drinking a lot of water, so it's huge.
This topic, exercise and fitness, is huge. This is, I think, the first time we've talked about it. So it's kind of an intro to exercise and fitness.
But just like training is the basics. So with training, what we like to teach people is you need to push, pull, squat, pick things off the floor, and carry them. Those are the basics. And then don't worry about stepping on a Bosu ball and doing some crazy stuff if you just do the basics. And the same thing with nutrition. Make sure you're eating enough food for your goals, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight. Understand that it takes time, and then eat lots of fruits and vegetables, drink lots of water, and get lots of sleep.
Well, it's been a great topic. Obviously, there's a whole lot more to talk about, speed and flexibility, and how to get better at this and that. So just to kind of wrap it up, you got a good little sound bite for us?
Yeah, the basics. It's not going to be a soundbite, but I'll just go into it anyways. There's a pyramid, a triangle that you need to think about when it comes to training and nutrition. And at the bottom is the basics. And a lot of times at the top is the cute stuff or the supplements. Focus on the big stuff first and then work your way up to the fancy stuff. If you can't get the basics right first, there's absolutely no point in thinking about the other cute stuff, because worrying about pre and post workout nutrition isn't important if the rest of the day you're not eating to fuel your goals. Same thing with training. So,
all right, well, it's been a great topic. This is Dr. Joe here with Evan, personal trainer and nutrition coach. I'm a health and wellness coach, and we're going to wrap this session up. And anything else you want to say to wrap this up?
Yeah, it was very cool to answer most of the questions today and do the talking. If you guys want to check out who we are, you can check out Dr. Pohl on Facebook and Twitter under Dr. Joseph, not Twitter, Instagram. Maybe you'll have a Twitter one day.
Right.
Dr. Joseph Pohl. You can check me out at The Evan Method on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to check out our gym, feel free to check us out on our same thing, social media, website, ForgeRx. And if you have any questions about the podcast, you can email us at takecontrolradio@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.